Welcome to the Penguin Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tate. Joining me as always, my good buddy and co-host, Nick Locapo. Nick, how you doing?
Cheers. I'm a little more weight today because we're starting later. It's nice.
Yeah, it's, well, you know, I had a doctor's appointment this morning. Don't worry, everything's
All
fine.
good.
Yeah.
No, the time difference gets me sometimes.
Yeah. Time difference. We'll talk about that in a second. I just got back from Abra Cornabra. We have a lot to talk about in this week's episode.
I've always wanted to go to Abra Cornabra.
I was supposed to hit the per meeting. I'm supposed to hit the highlights. So we're talking about. I'm going to do a little bit about Abra Cornabra, Firefly by Titanus, the Borrowed Deck Project. I address something from the Magic Cafe about Invisible Harmonica. Then we're going to talk about you, Chicago, the Hand, and the Eye. But
Sounds good.
Yeah. So Abra Cornabra was fun. Let me tell you, one of the most nerve-wracking lectures of my life. Talking about card magic with Alan Ackerman in the front row.
He's great though. Come on
He's
now.
Alan's, he's great.
No intimidation on Alan. Yeah.
No.
Maybe one of the best convention names in Magic.
100%.
Maybe the best.
My fabulous and wonderful partner sent me off with a demand. She said that if I don't come back with something Abra Cornabra merch themed, that we were calling it quits. So I brought her this wine koozie mug.
Wow, they have merch. Amazing.
Yeah, so this is fun merch, and then a really nice notebook with like a leather cover that has been impressed with the Abra Cornabra logo. I think our YouTube people can't see that. However, the one thing I wanted to get her that I couldn't was the staff has bright yellow aprons, like kitchen aprons that say Abra Cornabra. And unfortunately, they would not, no matter how much I offered them, they wouldn't sell me one because they have to use them year after year. But Steve and Michaela Oz do a great job putting it together.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah.
It's actually, the format's kind of interesting, and I think other conventions should pay attention to it because it's only like a 2-day convention. Like, it sort of starts on Thursday, but the main event is Friday and Saturday. Then there's like some additional stuff on Sunday. And Peter Samuelson kicked off the lectures it was great. He was lecturing on what he does at Speakeasy, which is really cool. If you've never seen Peter Samuelson perform before, I highly recommend it. And then I did a lecture, but the lectures are sort of show and then a lecture. So they give you 90 minutes instead of an hour. So you do like 20 to 30 minute show up top and then explain it, which is fun. Then there was a duo that was on, and then the following day, Alan Ackerman kicked things off. They have a competition that was really fun. I judged the competition. There was this great performer, Michael Christian, I think, who won, and he had this really fun poker routine that like looked like he was holding out, and it was but it was a really, really wonderful little packet trick routine that won. They do a lot with the youth there. They call them the Colonels, and they have a show with them, and they get some. And then they also have the Magic Masters, which is the only Magic competition where you must be 55 years of age or older.
No way. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the winner of that gets like a jacket, like a suit jacket, like the green jacket from the Masters, which is fantastic.
Funny. Wow. All right. Yeah. I've never been. I gotta get out there next year. Hopefully, maybe the year after. We'll see. It's always been on my radar, and it sounds like a fun one.
It was good. Jackie Yu lectured and performed. That was wonderful. And then Dan Fleischman lectured and performed. And then one of the really fun things they do is they have a secret magician that you don't know who it is. And if you get booked as a secret magician, they sneak you into the hotel on Friday night, and that you get holed up in your hotel room. So you're definitely there, but no one knows who you are. They announce it on the gala show, who it is. That person comes out and performs, and then they give a lecture the next day. And so in the past, it's been like David Williamson and Eugene Berger, and this time it was Oscar Munoz. But it was really fun because Oscar goes to Abra Cornabra every year, and they didn't tell Oscar that he was the special guest, so he found out like in the moment. which was
Funny.
fun. Yeah. So it's a great
Did
convention.
is it? I don't know if this is true or not, but in one of Nate Bargatze's stand-up specials, is
This
that at Abra Cornabra?
this is yeah, Abra Cornabra is the convention where that happened. Steve Bargatze was the special guest one year, and they
Right.
they brought out a giant wooden cake, and Nate Bargatze got out, and this was before he was the biggest comedian in the world.
Yeah.
And he did stand up, and no one knew who he was.
I don't know what special that's in, but yeah, he tells that story on one of his Netflix specials, which
Yeah.
when he told it, I'm like, it's gotta be. I don't know why it checked off Abercorndabra in my head, but it just
Mhm.
did. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a great convention. Highly recommend it. Everyone should check it out. I can't wait to go back.
that's fun.
We got some fun tricks coming out. Firefly by Titanus was advertised yesterday.
Yeah, I haven't been at my computer for the last since basically this thing came out. I'm curious about the reception of it, but I think magic community always loves a good light trick,
Yeah.
right? From the D light to everything in between now to this. I have no, I've not seen the method on this, but it looks really good and fooling.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. Like,
Yeah.
it just there's always, it's one of those. I always feel like I got a use for it, but
Mhm.
I've heard the method's pretty sweet on this.
I talked to Titanus about it off pod. We were just sort of chit chatting on Facebook, and without giving too much away, it sounds like if you're familiar with Bob Farmer's Little Hand or have performed like Frankendoe, you could do it. And he was really, I mean, we all know that's a light source somewhere, but
Yeah,
he was really stoked about the switch. He said something about how they like designed the switch from the ground up so it's the quietest switch that exists in any device anywhere, which is kind of fascinating. So I can't wait to get my hands on it.
yeah, and I've only seen what's in the trailer, and what's in the
Mhm.
trailer is a whole lot of empty hands. Yeah, yeah, I'm familiar with the way that the hands are being displayed, but yeah, whatever's happening there is very clean.
Mhm.
I'm very impressed with the way that it looks. And it looks super bright
Yeah.
as well. So when he gets into stuff like holding the water bottle and things like those are great
Mhm.
tricks. I mean, I'm a huge fan of D lights and
Oh, who isn't?
any other or the Wonder Light. Wonder Light's my jam. The Theater Magic Wonder Light. Um, but yeah, light tricks are always great. A fun thing to carry around with you.
You know who's doing a light trick was Slate Detour. We had Tobias Dostal in the theater this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And he's got a trick. So we filmed a lecture with him, but he's got a trick where he throws a card off
around the world.
yeah, around the world. He throws and you see it disappear in this flash of light, and then it like travels all around the world, and he like hits him in the side of the head. But he's using some bright light on his thumb too.
Well, I mean, like, no big deal. Tobias Dostal was in the theater this weekend doing a lecture and a show.
It was
Not that
it,
we need to like go off on that, but how good was that?
it was bonkers. It took a little bit for people to warm up to him because he opens his show with some hand shadows,
Yeah,
and
first of all, is he what's up with his show? Is he like somebody that travels with like a suitcase show, or is he just standing up there and like digging through a bag and doing tricks?
uh I guess the best way, it's very organic. Like
Okay. That's kind
it's
of what I was thinking.
yeah. So he's like making things melt and playing with goop, and then it turns into some other stuff. He's has this insane trick with a can of hand cream, like Nivea hand cream, where he's like applying the hand cream, but then the lid vanishes and then it reappears on his face. Then he has a card selected, and then the card appears underneath the cream, and then suddenly the lid of the cream pops off, and there's no more cream inside, and it's just the signed card.
Yeah, it
It's
was pretty common plot in
yeah,
Magic, right? The hand
yeah.
cream. Yeah.
He did optics in the moment,
Oh yeah.
which was cool. And then he's got a variation on something from Angelo Carbone where he's holding a shot glass in one hand, and he's got two spectators who come up and grab him by the wrists, and then they close their eyes, and the shot glass floats from one hand to the other
While their eyes are closed.
while their eyes are closed. But they're like holding his wrists like clearly apart. It's like a weird powers of darkness thing that's very good. And
Well,
even
okay.
if you open your eyes, it's almost better. Uh he's got some cool variations on Be Cool where he makes the sunglasses appear.
Oh yeah, great trick. Yep.
And he teaches you how to mold silicone,
Hmm.
which a lot of this stuff
Sounds like a Dan Harlan lecture.
he's just like making stuff out of caulk. Like we went to the hardware store, he was like, "Oh yes, this is good. I cannot do a German accent." He's like, "This is right." And then he like just makes up a bunch of gimmicks that like set in 30 minutes out of like bathroom caulk.
Hmm.
Yep.
Madness. I'm excited to take a look at that when
Yeah.
that comes out.
Yeah. Borrowed Deck Project by Danny De Ortiz came out. We've got a chapter 4 here. This one, you have the audience flip some cards face up and face down, shuffle them. You take a photo of the mess, then it gets shuffled further. Somebody thinks of a card that they can see from the photo, and then somebody else is able to divine the card. It's from a shuffled deck in use. Crazy Danny
Yeah,
De
no,
Ortiz stuff.
it's when you start to think about a trick like this, like if you watch this performance of this trick, sometimes I think we forget that it's a borrowed shuffled deck trick
Yeah.
because it makes it really insane when you think about that. No, this is a trick you could just do.
Yeah.
You just do it at any point. It's a really smart method behind this. It's a really good one. When you were talking to me about it,
Mhm.
and this is one of those things that typically you need like a gimmick deck to perform, but this is a really organic way to do it. So to be able to know what card somebody just looks at and is thinking of,
Mhm.
it's really smart.
Also, important, doesn't use any like apps or side loading stuff. This is, phone, like it doesn't matter the operating system on the phone. You could do
Yeah,
this with like an old clamshell
no,
smartphone
the
if you
phone
want.
is just there to take picture,
Yeah.
basically. So it's nothing other
Yeah.
than that.
Last thing I wanted to address before we sort of get to the main event here was on the Magic Cafe. Somebody talked about the invisible harmonica, and they said that it bothered them that there was a clearly edited audio when they heard
Somebody was bothered on the Magic Cafe.
somebody was bothered on the Magic Cafe. They were bothered by the clearly edited audio of one of their performers playing a squeaky clean version of "Oh Susanna." And I'm here to, this is a hill I will die on. Fabian Rabeau is the best harmonica player in all of Magic. That is not edited audio. That is actually him playing "Oh Susanna."
I was
And
gonna
if
say
you,
I thought he does play "Oh Susanna," doesn't he?
he
Like,
does,
yeah,
yes,
it's like his song that he plays on that harmonica.
and it's really good. It's really good. So I'm just Magic Cafe, get out of
Can't
here.
win.
This,
Like the great Kaplan has that problem. If you've ever seen him perform, I always hear him talking about it. At the end of the great Kaplan show, he plays either the turkey baster or an inflated balloon.
yeah.
And it's hilarious because what song does he play?
He plays Claire de Lune on the balloon.
So and he actually does it. And when we mean play the balloon, it's like squeezing, stretching and unstretching the neck of the balloon while you're letting the air out of it, right? So it's a talent, and he plays it live at the end of his show. But it is such an easy cop out for the audience to go, yeah, but it's probably just it's just played it through the speaker. I mean, this whole show has been playing music through speakers. So like, why would you believe that this man can actually play this ridiculous instrument? And it's tough. It's a hard thing, especially with editing. Sometimes to let people know that no, this is what it actually sounds like. Kaplan has to go through like I forget all the little subtleties he does. It's a fun conversation to have with him sometime, but like the things that he does on stage, like with the microphone to let the audience know that this is in real time,
Mm-hmm.
is actually happening, and it's not, edited or piped in. So same goes with editing sometimes. Yeah, it's an actual harmonica. So
Yeah.
if you can play it, you can play it,
Yeah.
No,
You don't have to just play random noises like I do. You can actually learn a song.
might as
Uh,
well.
Chris Hannawell was playing the Mario theme song on it so often that harmonicas were banned in our office. That was all right.
Yeah.
Nick, main event time. I have a question.
Yes.
If you're watching this on YouTube, because we are on YouTube now, why is the Chicago skyline behind you?
It's not. This is north of Chicago, but it's Chicago's is
Why is
that way.
why is the North Chicago skyline behind you?
I did move to Chicago, though. I did move to Chicago
Cat's out of
a
the
little
bag.
bit, yeah, a while ago. No, it wasn't really a secret. It was just hard to talk about the reason why,
Mhm.
which is why. I mean, people knew you knew I was in Chicago, but
Yep.
just kind of on the low for a little bit. That's all. Not trying to hide
So
for sure.
let's address one rumor right now. Have you left Penguin, or are you planning to leave Penguin?
I am not leaving Penguin. I am not. Or planning to leave Penguin. I have taken a different role with Penguin
Mhm.
in a sense, but nobody will ever notice from your side of things. Anybody out there that consumes Penguin Magic content, you probably won't even notice that I've moved. You might notice in the footage at some point.
Mhm.
It's we always joke internally, right? Like how long the footage takes to catch up
Yeah.
to the public, like so many things that you see filmed. Who knows when they're filmed? They could
Yeah.
have been filmed like a month ago, but they also could have been filmed over a year ago.
I mean,
So
it took a year for people to realize that I was hosting the Penguin Live lectures.
it is right. It's so funny how it takes that time to get in there.
Mhm.
The amount of people that are like connected and really in on what's happening in the community is actually pretty thin.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah,
So
you'll start to see a shift in the the uh the backgrounds
yeah,
in
a
the
lot
B-roll
a lot
once
more
it warms
Malort
up.
and a lot more Malort and hot beef sandwiches in the demos.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what, pray tell, brought you to the Windy City?
Well, it was announced last week. We're working on opening a magic venue here in Chicago.
This is very exciting. This is the hand and the eye that has been people have been asking about online for about a week now. There's been rumors flying around for a bit, but this is now people want to know what the hand and the eye is, and you're involved in it, and Jeff Kaylor is involved in it, and
Mhm.
Michael Ammar is involved in it.
That is correct. We are at the moment the magicians associated with the hand and the eye, which has a whole other world of responsibilities at the moment. But yeah, that's the three of us have been talking about this for quite some time now.
That's exciting. Now, you guys are the Magic team. There's actually a pretty robust team around this, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, I mean I mean the amount of the different partners that are involved in this project are incredible, to say the least. We make up the what's going to happen on the magic side of things, but yeah, we are working with some really amazing partners.
And it's in the McCormick Mansion on
Yeah,
The
the
Miracle
McCormick
Mile.
Mansion. Yes, this is formerly a lot of people know it as the Lowry's Steakhouse building.
Mhm.
That's what it most recently was prior to COVID. I believe the reason why Lowry shut down was after one of the COVID things. But it has a pretty rich history of performance inside of the building. Previous to this, it was I don't even know if you're aware of this. It was this Swedish restaurant puppet theater called the Kungsholm.
I did read about this in research for this episode that it was originally a puppet theater.
It's fascinating, especially when you realize how big this space is,
Yeah.
because it's still 35,000 square feet.
Wow.
Um, we've looked up a good amount of the history of from the comes home at this point, and we're excited to learn more about it. But the this was it was a restaurant, but they also had this puppet show. Became pretty legendary where they would do operas with the puppets. And it was all like singing like all these different arias and just crazy stuff. I would kill to have seen it at this point.
Mhm.
I've done some work on the puppets at this because we're trying to see if we could find one. I guess some
Mhm.
of the puppets ended up in the Museum of Fine Art here,
Mhm.
and then there's also a puppet show like out just outside of town where the people running it were like understudies of, and I can't remember the guy's name. His name was Bob something. It became pretty famous as the puppeteer of the King's Home. But they run some of they have some of the old puppets and some of the old outfits from that show out there. We got to
Mhm.
go out and see it. But yeah, and before that,
Mhm.
it was it was kind of this mansion, historic family mansion where it was like a real like a privilege to be invited to it. They
Mhm.
had kind of some underground casino nights and things
Ooh.
that we've read about. There was a fire in the building at one point, so it's got an interesting magical history to it, for sure. Funny enough, we saw Christopher Carter post the other day on. Did you see this on Facebook?
Maybe.
He shared on Facebook that he shared the story, and then he said, funny enough, that in 1991 he filmed his first magic promo
Oh,
in
I
in in Lowry's apparently.
I did see
So
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd wonder who the first magician was to perform in this space. Something
Yeah.
we'll find out
Yeah.
at some point. Yeah.
It's an incredible space, and I was reading a press release, on Levy Restaurants, who's involved as well, who does amazing food, but David Rockwell is an architect involved in this?
David Rockwell is the architect involved in this. Yeah, I mean, they've built out the entire place. A lot of this stuff was in already figured out before I came on board. We can't wait for people to see the inside of it. It is stunning, to say the least.
Yeah. It's, for the listeners who don't know, David Rockwell is arguably one of the most celebrated architects in the world. I mean, has done.
I've gone on his website. It just the what we've done section just goes on
Yeah,
forever. Yeah,
it's amazing. This is gonna be an architectural marvel.
for sure. And one that when you need to absorb in person,
Mhm.
for sure to see. Yeah, don't even at this point we have no idea what you might even be able to see or not see depending on what happens going forward here. But it is a place that you're going to have to go see for yourself to actually, well, part of the attraction is going to see the David Rockwell design.
And it sounds like this is gonna be like a real magical experience where you will be able to see performers and experience the history of Chicago magic and have a nice meal and some cocktails. It's gonna be a whole thing, correct?
It is a lot of the details are still up in the air and being and sorted out at this point, but for sure, the public it will have access to the public, so you can come in. The idea here is to see some shows and also attend dinner. We'll have a full restaurant as well, and so dinner and a show type of thing. And there'll also be other programs that we're still figuring out. It won't just be dinner and a show. It could be
Mhm.
some other like cocktails and a show, but
Mhm.
nothing confirmed at the moment.
Mhm. And, so Michael Ammar is involved in this. That one caught me off guard.
Yeah, yeah. Michael is heavily involved and will be here in the near future. I think at the moment he's kind of wrapping up a lecture tour around the world.
I
I think he's
saw
in
him.
his yeah,
He just did the Smoke and Mirrors in Bristol with our buddy, Daniel Chard.
yeah,
I did see that him posting on that on Facebook, so
yeah, Mike, yeah.
I mean, I guess can you give listeners a little bit of an insight into what Michael's doing? Like, are we gonna be able to see Michael Ammar perform? I mean, like, if I go to Chicago, can I see the Double Lemon?
Yeah, well, Michael, we're gonna make him perform at some point or another. Yeah, yeah, Michael will be there. Yeah, he's coming here to Chicago. So the idea is, yeah, if you come to the Hand of Me Eye, you should be able to see Michael Amar. We're putting him in the role as the professor here at the building. So
Really?
yeah, which is, I know people in the magic community kind of understand that connection. Maybe that's
Mhm,
something. Maybe we can get, Michael to talk about or something at some point on here. But
yeah.
Yeah, we're very excited to have Michael in the mix, and really what that means for the Magic community is really cool. So, I mean, our my connection with Michael
Mhm.
and Jeff, um, uh,
Yeah, I mean, this
basically he's who connects the two of us together.
Mhm.
Um, uh, for me, like I I grew up doing Magic on an island for the most part, not an actual island, but just by myself. And at some point in my journey, I ended up finding the Michael Ammar DVDs, and that's it. That was my jam. On Friday nights, I'd pop a new DVD in the in the player and see if there was some new trick I could learn to go out that weekend and share with people. So Michael was my guy. Never realized he was a real person. He just was the guy that taught me the magic on my DVD player. Jeff was the same way. Jeff's story, and you could probably get him on here to talk about
Mhm.
it, but he took a long shot and just reached out to Michael one day after college and said, "Hey, working on this trick. I'd love to run it by you, see
Mhm.
if it's cool." And long story short, they Michael flew him down to Florida. They fast friendship, and they
Mhm.
Michael toured the world with Jeff on his lecture tour. That's how I met Jeff. That's how I met Jeff. Was I took a risk and went to a magic lecture of Michael Ammar. I'd never done such a thing before. That's when I met my Jeff and Michael. I ended up living with Jeff for a while, and Michael lived right down the street. So we've had a history together. And Michael's always been a part of my pretty big part of my magic journey.
And, if I read some of these things correctly, it's not just gonna be the 3 of you. People who attend the Hand of the Eye will be able to see other performers from around the world.
That's correct. I mean, we at the moment we don't have any details on programming, but
Mhm.
we will have resident magicians in the building, and we will be having to bring in people from around the world,
Mhm.
locally, wherever.
Mhm.
It's going to be a quite the operation for magicians.
That is very exciting. Well, I know that you guys are poised to open in the, early 2026, and, as the year goes on, will you be able to share a little bit more about what's
Yeah,
going
we'd
on?
love to. Like, yeah, maybe a little monthly update or something. I'd love to. We can maybe get Jeff in here to talk some
Yeah.
with you, maybe Michael. And we have some other surprises in store that are really exciting. I mean, I can't wait to be able to talk more about it.
Yeah.
But we have some other names of people and things that are involved that I think will be, not to tease too much, but it's a very exciting project.
Well, I can't wait to share more with the listeners. I know that there's not a ton you can share right now, but thank you so much for sharing what you can. Nick, I think that's going to do it for this week, and we'll see you next week, and we'll talk more tricks
For
and
sure.
stop dropping news bombs on people. Is
Hey, this is a great project to be a part of, and I think it's going to be a really important thing for Magic.
All righty, man. See you next week. That's going to do it for this week, kids. Thanks so much to Nick Locapo for being on the show, and thanks to you for listening. Well, there you have it. All the news that's fit to dish on the Hand and the Eye, coming to Chicago in early 2026. I'm super excited for this new venue, and we'll really be excited that we're going to be able to give you monthly updates on what is happening in this gorgeous new venue. We will bring you more news as we get it. Next week, we'll be back with our regular scheduled shenanigans, and I will be feverishly working on getting my parlor act ready for the Magic Castle. As always, we're a weekly podcast, so be sure to like and subscribe, as well as share your favorite episodes on the social media platform that you've been looking for news about magic venues in Chicago on. If you wanted to reach out to me about anything on this week's show, you'll have to slip me a note in some of the supplies that I've been getting to get whip the Atomic Chihuahua Arcade into streaming shape for virtual pinball. In the evenings, I've been setting up to stream my virtual pinball table, and it's super exciting. I can't wait to start playing pinball on Twitch. But if watching people go for high scores on vintage Williams machines isn't your cup of tea, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Eric Tate. That's at ERIKTAIT. From me and everyone else here at the P3 Magic Studios, practice, practice, perform.